the way business analysts the way it's being transformed. What do you think with business analytics, like how would that impact the whole the BA industry?
Well, again, you need to find out what's going on, but you also want to be able to support that with data. Okay. So it's a great thing that you can tell somebody, oh, well, the customers think this. Well, how do you know the customers think this? Well, show them some sort of data that supports that this is what the customers think. You could do surveys, you can look at the patterns in their behavior, which more and more people are going toward is the patterns in their behavior. What the customer journey is like, huh?
So speaking of patterns, I think that's the topic I'll be speaking about at the IIBA, by the way.
Yes, that's great. Yes, I know. That's fantastic.
So, which is really great. And I'm humbled by the opportunity, not to break up what we're saying, but I'm really humbled by the opportunity to be able to volunteer for the community. When I say community, I mean the BA community. Because here in Atlanta, we have a large group, and there's a lot of BAs that don't come to the chapter meetings, including myself. Sometimes, I go every other month. However, I try to contribute, as much time as possible, and I like to observe others and watch others present, and it's very, very neat. I feel the industry needs a new generation, a newness to it, because I'll just be honest with you, I've been to a lot of different chapters, and to me it was like dry. I'm just gonna be honest. Well, can I be me, right? And for me it was like, I'm a nerd. Yes, I get that, but I'm a nerd with a little with a little more modern edge. Let me say it like that. That's
you got a little funk to it.
With a modern edge. So I want to be excited, and I see individuals, but what I really notice is that the age group is usually like at minimum. I was up in DC and it was like 35, and probably not that, probably like close to 38 and up. And like one thing I can say, like when I seen the last year's boot camp, it was a range, right? It was a range, and as far as Atlanta, but in other places it's not so. And then sometimes you go to the meeting, it's just everyone who is over the age of 40, and and I'm observing this and I'm seeing, okay, the youth are not in here. That is a problem. What do you think about that? Because you don't see no 20-year-olds in there.
No, I don't see that, but I also think that's probably indicative of what we were saying earlier about how questions are seen as, they're somehow right now, seen as impertinent. If you're on social media a lot, or if you live in particular states, your view is that most companies are very progressive. And I'm just saying that is not my experience. Most companies are not very progressive. And again, questions are seen as impertinent. Questions are seen as a challenge to somebody's authority. Now, in order to quote,
hold on. Are you saying that these youth are going to be viewed as being as challenging the adults?
Yes, absolutely. And so they they shy away from that kind of stuff. I mean, this is why so many of them their dream job is to work at some really, really, progressive company, but even those companies only have so many positions to go around. And, until we can get the management of a lot of these places to change, the boards of directors and that kind of thing, to where they can value questions, because questions should be valued. questions will sometimes tell us that there are some things that we don't know. They will sometimes tell us there's some things we're not sure about.
Why should questions be valued?
Because questions lead somewhere.
Why?
They lead somewhere.
Why do they lead somewhere?
Because they will they will help you to discover what is not known.
And why is it that you have a lot of these situations that are not known?
Well, because people have gone off of their hunches. People have done things and not documented. Times change, people change, business environments change, socioeconomics change, regulations change, politics change.
So why is it a fear for change then?
Well, because once you
notice I'm using the 5 whys of you.
I know, I can see that. Because once
analysis like big.
Yeah. But once and mind you, my reaction, as we both know, my reaction to all these whys is not the typical reaction. Normally there would be some director freaking out somewhere going, why are you asking me all these questions? But okay. Yeah. But it's important to know that because you can only do things the same way for so long. When the environment changes, in order for a business to remain relevant, the business has to change with the environment.
Yep, they gotta
Otherwise, the business will die eventually, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually it will. It will lose relevance and no one will need it.
Yep. Now, and I also think like in colleges and universities, I mean, they have the degrees for, project management, and computer science and whatnot. I haven't seen a lot. Maybe they do. They have certificates for business analysis. And now they're starting, like when I was in school, there was no business analysis. And, and that didn't exist. People didn't even understand what business analysis was. So like me seeing the youth come into the equation and, we're training, like you and I, we're training the youth. We're training individuals who are 25, 23, 21, these are not the individuals who are representing the IBA or any organization. They're just out here gaining their experience because they want to feed their families and whatnot, And I think I've seen that's, if we do a SWOT analysis, that is not our strength, is the BA community. Our strength is, having, solid BAs out in the industry, and we have numbers and we have the standard, we have the BABOK and, whatnot, but we have to transcend and develop into what a business analysis could be, the future state, as you said. The current state, I definitely see that as a gap, and I think, we should move aggressively to try to include the youth, because that would be an intentional indictment on the BA community not to hunt for the youth to be a part of those chapter meetings and also to be a part of the community and show that support without shunning them and making them feel like the knowledge that they're sharing cannot be, relevant because they don't have any experience, and that's the whole thing about having that old mind, and that's another syndrome in itself. A person don't teach old dog new tricks, oh, this is business analysis, and the person can't have opinion. As soon as someone who is different comes into the community, and a lot of times individuals want to have a, let me say it in a more political form, because I just had in my mind to say something that would probably be not, good to say. There is a certain amount of intellectual people who are in the community, globally speaking. And this is why, another reason why the youth are not coming in, because those individuals think they have a monopoly on intelligence and they have arrived. So they're, stimulating each other off of this intellectual talk. And then when the youth come in, they want to understand simple things. And sometimes the simple things, or maybe they're more intelligent, or maybe, it's not about the intelligence, it's about having the environment to include them.
Right, because they're being excluded a lot of times.
Excluded, right.